Where
is
my
in the
cousin
future
at?
of
She
any
probably get
society.
kicked out of this
But
one.
what happens when they're discovered unfit for the role and end up in jail?
She spanks them and everything when she
Like
hits
in the
them.
butt, or
Yeah.
where does she?
She's a woman of position and power and used it to molest a child.
Here
Oh.
are 5 times teachers realized they were getting arrested.
Oh, she's from
starting with
Arizona.
Brittany Zamora, whose evil attracted 44 years in prison.
Your mind is foul, your heart is ugly, and you disgust me.
On March 22nd, 2018,
I'll blow the
police
whole
received
shit to
very troubling
smithereens.
reports from a couple that their 13-year-old
Brittany
son was
Zamora.
sexually abused by
She
his
was
school
out here in
teacher.
AZ.
So yesterday I got the alert and I kept getting alerts back to back because the word baby kept being used. But this time I saw at the bottom that it had Mrs. Zamora Instagram profile.
Okay.
That's her name.
I think her
The couple
husband ended up
reported to
divorcing her
officers
or
that they
something.
discovered sexually charged text messages between their 13-year-old son and his 6th-grade teacher after
In
receiving
GTA.
several notifications
GTA.
from a monitoring app installed on the 13-year-old's phone. They recounted that Brittany had texted her son through Instagram and sent overly flirtatious messages to the 13-year-old, with some of them even suggesting that they had already engaged in sexual acts.
So I showed my husband the conversation and then when he came home, we talked to my son.
How in 13? You what? 8th
I need you
grade?
to be completely honest right now. We already know the answer to everything we're going to ask. So we just need you to tell us the truth. And so my husband just told him,
Okay.
have you done anything with your teacher? Did you have sex with your teacher?
I bet you she is getting her ass
said
whooped
yes.
though in jail.
Okay.
Upon questioning from his parents, the 13-year-old confirmed that he had engaged
She was
in
also
sexual
grooming his
relations
friend
with
who was
Brittany
younger?
at least 6 times in her car and the classroom.
We were doing a
God.
car thing, and while I was saying bye, me and my friend were about to walk, and I was like saying bye, and then I grabbed my backpack, and my friend was like messing with her computer, and then she was like kissing me and everything, and she was like, you want to go in? And I was like, what? And she's like, you want to go in? And I was like, sure. And then the same thing, I didn't take my pants off or anything, but she was wearing a dress, so she just pulled her underwear to the side, and then I was in there for like a minute, and then I was like, I don't know, I was like, all right, I gotta go.
In one of those encounters, Brittany went as far as instructing a friend of the victim to act as a lookout, and he eventually
hell no.
ended up being another victim.
I was one of the witnesses.
Why I'm at the park yesterday with my baby and kidnapped theirs. Older little girl. AJ, she gonna ask to play with him.
My friend
Said let's play hide and seek. She trying to get
Was
rid
Mr.
of
Morris
G just to
saying
get close to
anything?
AJ. She like him real bad, Midnight.
It was very uncomfortable.
She like him real
So
bad.
the second day, they're doing stuff. And Ms.
How old
Zamora
is
asked
she?
me if my thing was uncircumcised or circumcised, and I didn't know what that means. So Ms. Zamora went on her phone and looked up uncircumcised and circumcised.
A year after her arrest,
She
Brittany's
a nut
court
ass freak,
sentencing
boy.
took place, and the atmosphere was very charged. Both victims and the 13-year-old boy's parents were absent at the court, but in attendance was the mother of the boy Brittany used as a lookout, and she expressed the anger of both victims.
Your mind is foul, your heart is ugly, and you disgust me. You should be embarrassed and ashamed of yourself. You deserve to leave prison at an age where you cannot bear children of your own.
Damn.
You deserve to spend the next 27 Christmases alone, the next 27 birthdays alone in your cell with no family and no friends to comfort you. Brittany Zamora, your secret is out. The world knows you are a child. And while you sit in your cell and think that maybe things will get better, they won't. You are forever labeled a child, and everyone hates a child.
The victim's mother requested the court hand Brittany the maximum sentence of 44 years in prison. She stated that Brittany's acts were heinous, and Brittany herself seemed to agree with this as she pleaded guilty to her charges. Brittany's family was also present in the courtroom, and it seemed they had come to terms with Brittany's possible incarceration. But a press conference they held in the middle of the case revealed something shocking.
Brittany is not a predator, and this was not between a young child and Brittany. This was a teenager. The teenager had boundary issues.
Now
and was
this lady is
obsessed
sick.
with Brittany. The teenage boy was very aggressive. He even was very persistent in asking Brittany about her birthmarks, molars, or anything else that could be an identifiable piece of information.
Brittany's attorney demanded that the 13-year-old boy was the aggressor who coerced
Stop the
Brittany into
cat.
committing the crimes. She claimed that the juvenile had boundary issues and was obsessed with her client. Her blame shifting met severe criticism, and although the press wasn't allowed to ask questions,
She's sick
their
for that.
reaction was explosive.
Are you guys really blaming a 13-year-old boy as a victim in this case?
That's not what I said.
You honestly saying
That's what she
Brittany
said,
was the
lady.
victim? You just gonna read that and walk away?
Brittany was charged with sexual misconduct with a minor, attempted molestation of a minor, and public sexual indecency. She was sentenced to 20 years in prison, the lowest
She
sentence
only got
for her
20.
crime. But Angie's act.
That's crazy though. But the crazy part for me is she was married. How are you married? Like as a husband. If my wife cheats on me with a 13-year-old, it's game over, bruh. It's game over, dog. Predators be married all the time. That's just crazy to me. The husband was trying to talk to the child's father to not escalate it. That's crazy. I would be sick to my stomach. You having sex with who? A 13-year-old?
Actions were even more horrific.
That's crazy. I'll be a recluse.
On February 9th,
This was the one in New
2023,
Mexico?
It appeared to be a normal day at a New Mexico daycare until
Yeah.
an employee secretly recorded the alarming moment the
Right,
director
midnight.
grabbed a 3-year-old autistic child.
Get on the chair.
Oh, that's sad. I feel like they didn't show these videos in the last one we watched.
It was dirty on the side. It was dirty on the side.
The other people
The video
recording.
cuts off there,
Why y'all
and
not
it is
stepping up
unclear
though?
what led up to it or where the child was taken, but it left the employee along with the children visibly traumatized. Shortly after the incident, the
Why y'all
employee
not doing
notified the
nothing?
police, who on arrival received a very horrific account.
When she did that, what was the whole situation?
Because he didn't want to sit on his chair.
Because he didn't want to sit?
Yeah.
Okay. And she was making him sit.
And then she pulled him up by his front.
was
the front
crying,
of his shirt.
right?
Yeah, by the front of the shirt, and then that's when she picked him up.
Do you know where she took him after?
From the video, the 3-year-old boy cried after being lifted by his shirt, but as he walked toward the director's office, his cries intensified. It seemed
That's
the child
crazy.
knew exactly
Right
where
when
he
she
was
would've
going
passed him
and the
right here.
horrors that awaited
Mink,
him,
mink, mink.
and that proved that the occurrence had happened more than
What's
once.
wrong with you?
Spanks them
Is
and
you
everything.
crazy?
Like in the butt, or
Yeah,
where does she?
or she hits him on their hand,
Okay.
and the one she grabbed, like she
Where
hits
is
him in the next classroom.
In the next classroom?
Yeah, she hits them on their hand and everything, and like, you know, I just didn't want, you know.
And why does she still work there?
But at the same time, if that was my kid.
Yeah, no, I completely understand.
The employee confirmed that the recorded abuse was one of many, and that she got fed up and decided to pick up her phone
And
and
I'm
do the
using
right
my
thing.
belt.
But then the officers proceeded to question the daycare director, who gave a very different narration.
The reason I'm here today,
So she's a
because we received
director.
an anonymous call of potential child abuse here, kids being grabbed. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Has there been anything going on?
Nobody's come and talked to me about it.
Well, as I'm saying, it came in anonymous, so I'm just trying to figure out. Like I said, I don't know what's going on, so that's what I'm trying to figure out. Is there anything going on with the kids? Anything that you've seen? Any issues?
No, anything that happens, like if they fall or anything like that, we have to write up incident reports to give it to the parent.
You have to write it up. Okay.
The cops' questions were very clearly on the abuse of the children, but the director quickly shifted the question toward accidents to the kids, in hopes of deflecting the question away from the abuse allegations. This tactic is commonly used among guilty suspects when they find that giving a straight lie would be very difficult. But the cop had been in several of these situations and was well equipped to handle it.
Okay. Do you guys like discipline them in any form?
We can't discipline them.
No.
All we can do is talk to the parent,
Okay.
and then it's up to the parent. If the
Oh.
parent,
So you guys are not allowed to touch them at all. Just
No, and we
Not the
tell the
extension
parent
cord.
that really spanking doesn't work because if he grabbed that kid at 9 in the morning, by the time you get him home and spank him, he doesn't know why.
The director seemed to have her story put together and deflected the questions multiple times. She even attempted to put up a good front by insisting to the cop that she warned the children's parents against spanking them. This was hugely infuriating for the cop, considering the employee's previous claim, but she remained professional
had the
and
video.
requested to go into the daycare where she would meet the 3-year-old boy.
Oh, he's only 3?
Oh, are you okay? Yeah. Did that hurt? Yeah. Hi, nose. Just gonna check his hoodie. I'm gonna look at your hoodie, okay?
Can you draw mine? Do mine too.
Heads down. Put your head on heads down. Put your head on. They're just talking to Cassie and he's fine. Down.
You did a great job. Give me knuckles. Excellent.
These are our friends.
Excellent.
It's pretty.
Great job.
How old is he?
No more than 3.
3 or 4. Okay.
All right. You just get the parents. 49 and I'll hang with him.
The officers had a wholesome interaction with the kid and even had the chance to receive his drawing. They wondered how the director could treat him in such a horrific way, and after leaving the daycare, they immediately started investigations into the case. Although they would have liked it sooner, Angie Flores was arrested 4 months after the incident and charged with 2 felony counts of child abuse. Pending further investigations from the police, she was released from custody, but no longer works at the daycare. But the next teacher's actions were so bizarre that she was tipped to spend 240 years in prison.
Damn!
On February 21, 2019, authorities were alerted after a 7-year-old girl cried home from school and told her parents that her substitute teacher had touched her. Police immediately located 19-year-old Syed Yassine Asher, and what followed was a very disturbing interrogation.
There wouldn't be no interrogation, no none of that.
On Thursday, she's saying that you touched her butt inside of her pants.
No. I didn't do it.
Man, listen. I don't understand why you cooperated with me. I know I'm gonna find out a whole lot more. Now I'm scared about what I'm gonna find out because you're not being honest with me. We keep on going back and forth. You cried and you told me you were sorry.
Yeah.
Does it seem like you're sorry when you're not being honest with me right now?
When officers arrived at Asher's home to detain him for questioning, they met him in tears as he apologized to them without specific knowledge of why he was getting detained. He explained that he was sorry and was truly a good person. So, with signs of remorse from him, the detectives got into the interrogation room expecting an immediate confession from him, but they ended up getting frustrated.
You know, this other girl that came forward was crying to her mom, saying that something really bad happened to her. But you're sitting there and instead you're not sorry. You say you're sorry, you're not sorry. Because you're not being completely honest with me. If somebody's truly sorry and wants forgiveness with anybody, you will be honest. You're not sorry. So if I pull video, I will not see you touching anybody that day you substituted.
Oh, he was a substitute?
Asher remained stiff-bodied and used a shaky and tense voice while denying the allegations. At the time, the detectives hadn't gathered much evidence about the case and hoped on Asher's confession, but they were suspicious that the 19-year-old was hiding something and led them to uncover something disturbing.
No.
You're not a little kid. You're an adult now.
Yeah.
And you need to take responsibility for your actions. You decided to touch these girls. They didn't tell you to touch them. You made a decision. Honestly, you made a decision. You made a bad decision. You know that already.
Yeah.
But if you really care about making it better,
when I first seen this, I'm thinking it's gonna be like teachers doing drugs in school or something. I was not expecting this.
I know you did. Tell me what happened.
I don't touch her butt.
Inside her pants?
Yeah.
Where did that happen? Outside or inside?
Inside the class.
Behind the desk or somewhere else?
I'm beside the desk.
But how? Where do you put your hand?
In her back.
Mm-hmm. And you slid it down, or was it from underneath her skirt, or was it from above?
One's from above.
Like that?
This is a sick nigga.
Yeah.
Yeah, 240 years, bruh.
And 20.
With criminal justice, yeah.
How long did that last for?
About 2 minutes, please.
Asher was only a substitute teacher at the school, but he had taught in 8 other schools and had watched over 1,000 students. During his interview process into these schools, he stated that he preferred to teach elementary school kids, and when asked why, he mentioned that it was just a preference. He had only started teaching for close to 4 months, but the detectives were greatly troubled by the possibility of multiple victims, and they later realized something shocking.
Is there anybody else that is going to come forward?
No. I don't think so.
Look, I already know that there's probably going to be more people coming forward. Is there anything else that you want to be honest with me about?
Days after the interrogation, multiple students reported to police about their encounters with Asher. One victim reported that Asher planted multiple unwanted kisses on her lips, and she was forced to devise an excuse to flee from him. In total, 6 girls below 8 years old came forward to report the molestation they experienced. Asher was tipped to serve 240 years in prison for 16 counts of lewd and lascivious conduct. But after pleading guilty to 4 of those counts, he was sentenced to 8 years in prison and was registered as a sexual predator. But Kimberly's interrogation was even more frustrating. On August 17, 2023,
this lady that was
called
drunk
to a school after a newly employed teacher was
now this
suspected
the shit
to
I
have
thought
taught
it was
her
gonna
third-grade
be.
students while heavily intoxicated.
So,
she was faded.
Just observing you in classroom, it looks like something's off a little bit, and so I've asked Officer Dean to come in here and visit with it.
This nigga shouldn't go to sleep at night.
You know, have you taken anything that
The teacher did something, I'm going to the school and beating his ass.
For
Yeah.
anything that maybe you have taken today?
I might black out on that
It
ass.
seems like you're not the same person that I talked to this morning.
I did take some medication last night to help me with sleep because I have some anxiety.
I think this was in like
stuff,
Oklahoma or something.
I can't think of the name of it right now, but I could look it up when I get home.
Okay. So you haven't taken anything while you were at school?
No.
Okay. Now, one thing I would tell you is, for your employment, I want you to be truthful.
Okay.
And so, would you be willing to take a breathalyzer test?
If I needed to, yeah.
With the UAP? Right.
Kimberly was recently hired, and it was her first day teaching at the school, so it was arguable that she exhibited strange behaviors that the school's superintendent mistook to be caused by intoxication. But her claim became more suspicious when she mentioned not knowing the anxiety pills she had taken the night before. If she did have a drug for anxiety, she would have needed to provide the name to get a refill. So it was very strange that she didn't attempt to remember the name of the drug, but it became even more strange when her entire story suddenly changed.
Have you taken any sort of medication today?
I'm sorry, what?
Have you taken any medication today?
I did take some medication this morning for my anxiety.
What did you take this morning?
I think it's called clozapine. I'm not very good with it.
Did you take it here at school?
I took it this morning.
While you were here?
This morning.
Yeah, right before I came in. Yes.
Okay.
Is it a prescription? Because you changed your story a little bit. Now
Yeah,
you
you said it was last night.
Yeah.
Well, I took one last night and then I took one this morning because my anxiety was really like bad.
Well, that's understandable, but so what time did you take it?
This morning?
Whenever you took it last. What time was that?
I'm not really for sure.
Where's it at? In your car? In your classroom?
No, I had one. I took it I put it in my pocket and then I took it.
You put it in your pocket?
Yeah. Because I didn't want to bring the whole bottle in.
You do know that if it's a narcotic, you have to have it in the bottle, right? Or you can be charged with it?
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's got to be in the prescription bottle.
Yeah.
At this point, Kimberly's story was all over the place, and she seemed unconcerned by it. She somehow managed to neither deny nor affirm the claim that she took the
teachers
anxiety
have ever
pill
been
at school,
like
and
drunk
instead
or
insisted
high
on taking it
at
that
school
morning.
with y'all?
While this story had several other loopholes as the former one, they weren't as important to the cop or the school staff. Their
Drunk,
concern
yeah.
was the woman's suspicion of intoxication, and they managed to steer the woman back
I
to
can only
that
think of
discussion.
one teacher
But
that
the
I think may
information
have
she
been
provided
high
was
or drunk.
entirely different.
Did you drink something while you were here at school?
Not while I was at school.
When did you drink something?
Last night.
Okay. not here at school? Because it seemed that it changed. I mean, your demeanor kind of changed. Anything here at school?
I wouldn't bring it into the school.
Okay.
Are you gonna blow double zeros?
I don't know.
You should know. If you hadn't drank anything, you should blow zeros. If you drank something recently, it's gonna show it.
I think this is her first day, I think,
After
too.
telling 3 different stories in 3 minutes, it was now very hard to believe anything Kimberly said. So the officer
Look at her
decided to
lips.
believe his breathalyzer instead and extract her blood alcohol level. Although
I've been
alcohol
at
can
work
be
with
detected in
vodka
the
in
breath
a
for
water
up to
bottle
24
before,
hours,
so I
it
know
has a
they have.
half-life of 4 to 5 hours. So the alcohol content in the breath 15 hours consumption should ordinarily be extremely low or
Not
non-existent.
nuttier than the
And
Jif
anything other
factor.
than that would suggest the woman was in deep trouble.
Ready? Take a big deep breath. Blow, 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 blow. All right, stop. Good job.
Yeah. It's called, I think it's called gut fermentation syndrome. It's when your stomach produces, it
You
like
wanna tell me the
ferments.
truth? How much you had to drink?
I drank last night.
There's no way you drank last night.
Well, I did drink last
She
night.
blew a 2, 4, 8. Bitch, you was drinking right now.
That wouldn't blow that right there.
You blew 2 times the legal limit.
At 2.4
Jesus
VAC,
Christ.
the average person would experience vomiting, involuntary defecation,
Oh
and
my
nausea.
God.
But Kimberly's ability to even speak coherently showed her high alcohol tolerance due to excessive and repeated use. It also suggested that she had consumed alcohol sometime in an 8-hour window, which would imply that she wasn't being entirely truthful. The school staff were distressed by
Oh,
the
this was the
revelation
end of
that
the
they
day
had
of
left
the
a
school
highly
period. This
intoxicated
is what,
person with
3:30?
3rd graders in a confined
So
space.
she was pretty much
But
just
Kimberly's
drinking all
concerns
day.
were even more distressing.
So what happens? So what happens then, Mr. Ogle?
Well, my recommendation to the board is going to be to terminate you because you're under the influence. Or you can resign.
You won't give me like a second chance or anything?
He said, nuh-uh.
Not in this situation. Your story's changed 2 or 3 times. I don't think you're personally being honest with us.
What?
We think that you drank today. Not 3 a.m. We think that you've drank since you've been at school.
Is
And
that
I
her
don't
cup?
believe you're being honest with us. Do you want to change that story?
No, I mean, even if I did, does that make a difference to work here?
Well, it helped me to be able to understand that maybe do I need to be sympathetic with you a little bit? I just don't believe you right now. I think you're lying to us.
Okay, I drank on the way to work.
Oh, you was
I'm
drinking
glad
and
that you told
driving.
us that. Okay, we'll still discuss tomorrow.
I went to work here. I went to work here.
So tomorrow at 9
Well, that's
o'clock,
too
now
black
let's call
bad.
somebody and have them pick you up.
No, I can't call my husband.
Do you have anyone else you can call?
You have a friend that can come pick you up?
I don't know.
While heavily intoxicated, the woman drove into a property surrounded by children,
Life
supervised
hard,
them,
man,
and
I
now
feel
requested
her.
that she be allowed to keep her job. She had no concern about how her behavior
So
would have
seek it,
negatively
right.
impacted their lives, but instead wanted to come back to work the next day. With confirmation of intoxication, the woman was allowed to choose between calling someone to come pick her up or getting arrested for DUI, and she
That would've
chose
called
to call
somebody
a
so
friend.
quick.
So the superintendent left to go get her belongings, but he came back with something completely unexpected.
Okay, no more games, right?
Yeah.
Other than that.
Oh,
My juice.
that Jesus juice.
Gonna try again? That there is wine.
I thought that was from yesterday.
Were you drinking up here yesterday?
Well, I brought it from home
Oh my God.
this morning.
Principal hot.
Did you get my phone?
Listen here. I'm whatever you want to do.
Well, I mean,
Is my phone in here?
An empty plastic container that was previously on her class desk was perceived to have stored alcoholic wine, her
He is
favorite choice
hot.
of beverage. Even with her apparent denial,
How many
the cop and
days she came to work
superintendent
drunk?
were
Right.
unsurprised at this point and just wanted to make sure she was driven out of the premises. But this was impossible as she refused to call her husband and also insisted on having no friends to call. And after she kept up the act for 5 more minutes, the cop decided for her, and she was not happy with his choice.
Stand up.
Can you just...
No, I said I'm done.
No, no. Can I just walk out without the handcuffs on? No, please just let me walk out with
No, it's policy.
I'm gonna
cuff you up front. If you're gonna keep running your mouth, you're gonna get cuffed behind you.
Wait, can I just talk to you for a second? Please.
Yeah, go ahead and put your hands behind your
Please
back.
don't.
Put your hands behind your back.
No, I don't want to.
You want to go to jail with
No.
multiple charges?
No.
Put your hands behind your back.
Please don't do this. Please, I just want to talk to you. Can you just talk to me?
Put your hands behind your back.
Please.
Principal said, look, hey, do what you gotta do, man.
I've tried talking to you.
Well, you're not talking to me now.
Yeah, she
Talking's
should have.
over.
Kimberly Coates was fired from her role as a teacher and was charged with 1 count of public intoxication. At this time, she is no longer incarcerated, and it is unclear if or when formal charges will be filed. But the next teacher put up quite the act.
Can you please call my boyfriend?
No, you can have a seat.
Please. Stop being a bitch to me.
Ooh.
On October 4th, 2023, police stopped a vehicle after it was seen driving at high speeds. The officer then approached the driver and told her to step out of the vehicle after confirming that she was intoxicated.
All right, so real quick, it is a bit of a concern when you're telling us that you were over at the bar.
You're wearing that dress, though.
And then, of course, I can smell the alcohol on your breath. You're a little bit slow. And you kept on driving. After I pulled up behind you, I had to tell you to stop over the loudspeaker. So at this time, I do have to read you something real quick before I proceed any further.
The demon coming up out her.
Won't be appointed to represent you. If at any time you wish to stop talking or have an attorney present, all
Down to the
questioning will be
bob
stopped
with
at
the
your
black
request.
ends.
Do you understand these rights?
It's the Yiddies. Of course, this your type. I did not say this is my
Again,
type.
just
I
a
just said
formality
she
so
is
I can
wearing
talk to you further
that
in the rest
dress.
of this.
The woman burst into tears while being read her rights, but her emotions didn't seem genuine. Although it is standard practice for officers to read suspects their Miranda rights before questioning them, most people see this as a guarantee that they are going to jail. This fear of jail time forced the woman into possible escape tactics, as she started darting her eyes from side to side, indicating increased levels of stress. And while this arguably might be caused by her apparent intoxication level, what happened next proves otherwise.
Could have sworn you said that was your type, and did not.
Hooligans.
I had a couple glasses of wine.
Okay. Do you normally go to hooligans?
No, never. But my kids was kidnapped from me.
What?
I'm sorry to hear that.
Back in January. And I don't even know what to do at this point.
Understood.
They were kidnapped from my ex-husband.
So you had a little bit of a child custody issue with you and your kids?
Was, yeah.
Alright.
And I'm just like trying to get through it, and then Sunday is Easter. I've never been without them on Easter. Never ever have I been without them on Easter.
Understood. Well, again, this is still a big concern of us, so...
Time, what's
would
the
you be willing to
word?
participate in field sobriety exercises?
He said that's her ultimate.
I mean, sure, I don't know if I'll pass it, but...
Oh, shit. Hey, somebody get Time a shout out, man.
Charges.
I couldn't be a cop. I'm too soft. She got me with the story. Not the fake story.
Keep your
Worked on
arms
me.
at your side at all times. Watch your feet and count each step out loud.
Where is this at?
Once walking begins, do not stop until you've
Y'all know
completed
that
the
license
test.
plate?
Do you understand the instructions?
Flagler? Where's Flagler?
Danielle, do you understand the instructions?
I don't want to do this.
I understand, Danielle.
Florida?
Just be advised that if you refuse to take the SSFEs, the field sobriety, then a decision to arrest you may have to be made with what I have so far. Do you understand?
The The woman's strong emotions seemed to hit a standpoint anytime the officer mentioned her likelihood of getting arrested. And although losing custody of her kids was enough to elicit strong emotions, they could also be used to garner sympathy, and her actions closely resembled that. But her plan later backfired most terribly.
My kids were taken away from me like over 2 months ago. And I don't even know what to do anymore at this point. Like, I can't even get them back.
I understand, but that's going to be a matter that will have to be solved in civil courts.
Definitely
I
not
know
this.
that. I have a lawyer, I have all this stuff, but sometimes you just have to, like, get away from, like freaking...
Why not just drink at home?
I understand that.
I just don't understand that.
There's a reason why we're here at the side of the road.
You don't understand. You don't know. Do you have kids? Imagine if your kids were taken away from you.
Imagine at 65 miles an hour you run into a kid and end their life instantly. Then their kids are taken away from their parents permanently. At this
That would
time,
never happen.
you are placed under arrest. Turn around, place your hands behind your back.
Yeah, because why are you trying to play with me?
Have a seat.
I like when they have the women officers take care of the women, though.
No, you can have a seat.
Please, stop being a bitch to me.
Ooh,
Have a seat.
I think that was her old.
Considering how fast
That
she
was
was
her
able
old
to
right
switch
there,
between
boy.
angry and sad emotions, it was evident that she was faking the whole time. She was later discovered to be a school teacher, but she didn't put up a very good lesson for her students.
You piece of shit, motherfucking cheat.
Yeah, she old to now.
You. I promise you, you're the worst person on the face of this f***ing earth. Piece of shit.
Not, she been hanging out with Nay. She said, piece of shit.
Funny, right? So funny, right? Yeah, you're laughing, right?
I'm crying.
Ew!
She said, piece of shit.
Danielle was arrested and charged with DUI, but was later given a reduced charge of reckless driving. She was sentenced to 12 months probation
Oh,
and
shit, that's
ordered
not
to pay
even bad, though,
$1,000 in
ma'am.
fees.
All you got was 12 months of probation and a $1,000 fine. Like, that's nothing. You were lucky. Oh my God. I ain't gonna lie, that's some funny videos today. I hate that they put the damn SA shit in there. Cause why we couldn't just have like those type of videos, you know, with the lady drunk in the office, teacher speeding, you know what I'm saying? Like, take the SA shit out that video, please, bro.